The news for South Mississippi continues. Good morning, Mississippi. Sponsored in high definition exclusively by Handyman House Techs. Free estimates on all home repairs and remodeling.
Happening now, a search underway for a fisherman who reportedly fell into the water near the Pass Harbor hours ago. Megan Gray joins us live from the scene in just minutes. Plus, shots fired in Van Cleve, deputies involved. Find out what happened overnight and what happens next in a live report.
Well, we have patchy fog out there this morning. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. Later today, plenty of sunshine with warm afternoon temperatures in the lower to mid and even upper 80s. Still absent from the forecast, rainfall. We'll take a closer look in just a few minutes.
And happening at this hour, the search for a missing fisherman. Megan Gray has been alongside rescue crews all morning. She's live at the Pass Harbor with a breakdown. What's happening right now?
Well, right now, Rhonda, I can tell you that there are boats in the water still actively searching for the man who went missing about 4 hours ago, just before 2:30 this morning. Police Chief, Pass Christian Police Chief Tim Hendricks tell me they're sort of in a holding pattern right now, but they are still actively searching. I want to swing the camera around and let you know that the Department of Marine Resources, DMR Marine Patrol dive team just pulled in moments ago. So it looks like they are about to get their dive team ready to get in the water and ramp up this search. And the reason they're in a holding pattern is with the fog and with the darkness still, they can't really do much more at this point. They're going to have to wait for daybreak. And so that's why we're in this holding pattern. They've had 4 boats in the water, Coast Guard, DMR, Harbor Patrol, and Pass Christian Police Departments all working together in this search. Here's what we know about what happened. Around 2:20 this morning, there was a man reportedly fishing on the southern end of the Pass Christian Harbor on the seawall, not far from the Pass Christian Yacht Club, and he fell backwards. Now that is according to 2 people who were fishing on the other side of the seawall. And they said they saw him fall in. They did not know who he was. The police have spoken with the 2 witnesses, and they are currently trying to identify who it was that fell in the water. They have not seen him since, and that's why 4 boats went in the water hours ago, and they have been scouring in a grid pattern trying to search every possible area for this man. And they are also trying to identify him. As I mentioned, they're going through surveillance video from the harbor office and trying to find out who pulled into the harbor and who was fishing. But the search is ongoing. They have not found anything, and we will certainly keep you updated as dive teams get ready to get in the water and we wait for daybreak and moving into the next phase of this search. For now, I'm Megan Gray reporting live from Pass Christian for Good Morning Mississippi.
And we are tracking another breaking story at this hour. Jonathan Brennan has the latest developments as state officials step in to investigate a deputy-involved shooting. Jonathan?
Yeah, Rhonda, I'm in Jackson County right now in Van Cleve. This deputy-involved shooting happened before midnight, according to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. Jackson County Sheriff Mike Ezel tells us that a 911 call was made. A woman called saying her boyfriend had sent her suicidal text messages. When deputies arrived on the scene, they say a man came out of a home with a gun, and then the scene escalated from there. The man holding the gun seemed very agitated. The deputies were forced to draw their weapons. Now, there was a shooting, and according to people here on the scene, neighbors who told us, WLX was on the scene, and these neighbors told us that a victim was taken to the Ocean Springs Hospital. Now, this is all according to the neighbors, not according to the authorities. We have very little word from the authorities because right now the MBI is taking over the investigation. Mississippi investigators are looking into this situation because it does involve a deputy or deputies. So we're going to keep you up to date as we get information into us. The very latest we will give to you as soon as we get it. I'm live in Jackson County. Jonathan Brandon for WLOX News Now.
1 week from today, American voters head to the polls to choose our next president. With the campaign wrapping up, Hillary Clinton spoke to a large crowd in Ohio, easing concerns over the new FBI investigation into her emails.
Now they apparently want to look at emails of one of my staffers, and by all means, they should look at them. And I am sure they will reach the same conclusion they did when they looked at my emails for the last year. There is no case here.
During a rally last night in Michigan, Donald Trump trying to capitalize on the new questions surrounding Clinton's emails.
I think we hit the mother lode, as they say. Hillary is the one who broke the law over and over and over again. We can be sure that what is in those emails is absolutely devastating.
A new CNN poll just released shows the race tightening as has Clinton with a 5-point edge, 47% to 42%. All right, let's check in with Tommy now for the very latest on Tuesday's forecast, and all that fog out there hopefully will burn off soon.
Yeah, it should burn off probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, Rhonda, but it is thick in some locations, but beginning to improve in others. Visibility now at 1 mile at Lott International Airport, 4.5 miles that at Stennis, 5-mile visibility that at Gulfport Biloxi International, and visibility now 10 miles that at Keesler. As you can see here on the Back Bay area, we're still seeing some fog along the North Shore around D'Iberville in those locations. The temperature trend today, we're in the 60s along the coast. We'll be in the lower 80s for afternoon highs, and rain chances are slim to none. Let's go to none. In fact, it's going to be a dry day once again for our area. We'll take a look at your forecast in detail coming up just the next few minutes.
And happening today, a historic oyster season is about to begin. Doug Walker joins us live from Ocean Springs with details. Doug?
Well, it's been 50 years since the reefs off the Ocean Springs harbor have been open. 2 reefs, main reefs. It's called Shearwater. That's right outside of the harbor itself. And then there's the Biloxi Bay Reef, which is just off Point Cadet. First time in 50 years they're opening here at the Ocean Springs harbor. You can see the boats behind me. There are at least 30 boats that I've counted that have launched, and they are getting ready to go out at first sunrise, which is about 7:15 this morning. Joining me now is Joe Jewell, the Director of Marine Fisheries with the Department of Marine Resources. What has changed? Closed for 50 years, now it's open today. What's changed with the water here?
Well, it's improved water quality conditions. We've been monitoring the water quality over a series of years, and it's improved dramatically. And so it allowed us to be able to open the water here.
Is this something that's probably going to be permanent now? Always the western part of the sound has been open around Pass Christian. This part has been closed. Do you foresee this opening every year now?
Oh, absolutely. We're hoping so. As long as the water quality stays at these conditions, we absolutely hope so.
And what are you expecting out there as far as the take goes? I know it's a 15-sack limit for tongers only, but what do you expect the oyster fishermen are going to see out there?
Oh, we're hoping to have a very productive season here in Biloxi Bay this year. The Commission has set a 15-sack limit for the tongers, and we're hoping to have a very productive year this year.
And it's good news for the fishermen because the pass reefs have closed. This extends the season.
Absolutely. This is the best of news for the fishery in general, the resource, and for the fishermen.
All right, Joe Jill, thank you very much with the DMR. That's the story here. Of course, we'll follow this historic opening all day long. We'll have more on the story both on air and online a little bit later on today. Reporting live at the Ocean Springs Harbor, Doug Walker for Good Morning Mississippi.
And we'll have more local news and weather, what you need to know this morning, straight ahead on Good Morning Mississippi. Don't go away.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather with meteorologist Tommy Richards.
Good morning, Mississippi. Tuesday already, now 19 minutes away from 7. Some fog out there this morning, but that's it. Our satellite radar composite showing no precipitation. We do have a slight temperature inversion out there this morning. No rain to note on WLOX First Alert Radar. It's going to be another dry day for our area. 50 this morning. That at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College in Perkinston. 62 degrees at Navigator Credit Union, Pascagoula. 56 at Red Pest Solutions in Gulfport, and 63 this morning. That at Hollywood Casino, Bay St. Louis. The afternoon high will be in the low 80s along the coast with mid and upper 80s in those interior locations. Skies will be mostly sunny to sunny this afternoon, then mostly clear to partly cloudy tonight. Coast lows will fall to the mid 60s with interior locations in the low 60s to mid and upper 50s. Could see some patchy fog again tonight. In the meantime, with just 30 days left in the hurricane season for 2016, tropical storm formation in the Atlantic, Gulf, Caribbean not expected during the next 5 days. Here's what you expect today, though. A little fog around this morning. That should burn off by 9 o'clock. It'll be mild. We'll be in the upper 60s at mid-morning. We'll be at 80 at midday. The afternoon high will be in the lower 80s, and we're looking for sunny to mostly sunny skies during the afternoon and evening period. Looks like it's going to be another dry day, another dry night, and maybe even a dry week, too. My 7-day forecast just ahead.
We have breaking news this morning out of Maryland. At least 3 people dead after a Metropolitan Transportation Authority bus and a school bus collided in southwest Baltimore. The accident happened just about an hour ago, and you're looking at video of that scene. Totally mangled mess out there on the interstate. No word this morning on the cause of this crash. Again, a deadly bus accident between a Metro bus and a school bus. At least 3 people dead. Developing at this hour, crime scene tape in a Van Cleve neighborhood. Authorities now looking into what happened in the late night hours just before shots were fired. Deputies involved. Details straight ahead on this investigation. It's 6:43. The temperature right now in Van Cleve, 55 degrees.
Now, WLOX First Alert Weather with meteorologist Tommy Richards.
Well, good morning, Mississippi. Here it is now 14 minutes away from 7 o'clock, and temperatures around the area this morning. It's 50 at Perkinston's Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, 63 at Hollywood Casino Bay St. Louis, 57 degrees. That at Singing River Federal Credit Union in Loosedale, and 56 this morning. That at Red Pest Solutions in Gulfport, 61 degrees with mostly clear skies in Biloxi. We'll take a look at projected highs in a moment. First of all, take a look at our weather art. Really good stuff. I love this. It's called Storm, drawn for us by 7-year-old Dewan Alexander of Three Rivers Elementary School in Gulfport. Thank you, Dewan. Nice. You can always see the weather art with a quick click to my WLOX.com. The Futurecast, well, the fog burns off at mid-morning. It'll be a sunny late morning, sunny afternoon to mostly sunny afternoon. Then by tonight, we'll see mostly clear to partly cloudy skies for our area, depending on the cloud cover as to whether we get fog tonight. In the meantime, look for that low tide. It's coming up soon at Pascagoula, followed by Biloxi and Bay St. Louis. That occurring this morning. And then we'll see the high tide occur late this evening to just after midnight tonight. Range between that low and high tide is at 1.7 feet. If you're boating it, an east wind in the sound at around 5 to 10 knots. Waves and seas running around 1 to 2 feet with a light chop in protected waters. Small craft exercise caution offshore for east winds at 15 to 20 knots. This is 20 to 60 miles out. You'll see seas there running around 3 to 6 feet. So here it is, your hour-by-hour forecast. The afternoon high will be in the low 80s later on today. Skies will be mostly sunny today. The overnight low falling to the mid-60s tonight. We'll hit the low and mid-80s tomorrow with a very slight chance of rain tomorrow. And then by Thursday, that rain chance goes up to 20%. Then we're dry Friday through the coming weekend with highs in the 70s, but lows down into the 50s.
Happening now, the race for the 4th District congressional seat heating up as Libertarian Party candidate Rick McCluskey continues his attack on Stephen Palazzo's military service, saying he never showed up for duty for his assigned unit. Now, a retired staff sergeant is backing up the allegation.
Being in my platoon, I've never talked to him. I've never seen him stand in formation. I've never seen him answer. I've never seen him call or make any type of contact to the unit, period.
Well, I was putting fellow Marines in body bags. He was back home in Mississippi sipping on sweet tea.
Now, Wade also says Congressman Palazzo never received permission to possibly train elsewhere. McCluskey also claims to have more evidence as well, saying at least 10 more soldiers may come forward. And we did reach out to Stephen Palazzo's camp. His chief of staff, Casey Street, says that Congressman Palazzo has fulfilled all of his drilling requirements with the Guard, the vast majority at Camp Shelby near Hattiesburg. He also spent some time drilling at Joint Force Headquarters in Jackson. Last week, Guard officials told WLOX News Now that Palazzo was accruing points toward his military retirement, indicating that the congressman was, in fact, serving duty. Meanwhile, in fairness, it should be pointed out that retired Staff Sergeant Wade was once a brother-in-law of McCluskey, having married the candidate's sister for a short time. They were married back in 2011, a fact confirmed by McCluskey. Developing now, and next we are on the scene of 2 major developing stories this morning. Megan Gray at the Pass Harbor as search crews ramp up to search for a missing man. You see Jonathan Brannon there. Jonathan is live in Van Cleve. An officer-involved shooting is a breakdown of what investigators are looking at. Plus, a Halloween tragedy. A hayride turns deadly in an East Mississippi town. Hear from some of the first responders in just a matter of minutes. It's now 6:49. The temperature right now in Moss Point, 57 degrees. We are tracking breaking news from overnight. Shots fired in Van Cleve, deputies involved, and you're looking at exclusive video from the scene on the right side of your screen. Plus, a major search underway at this hour. A fisherman missing, crews not giving up hope, though, working through the night, missing now for more than 4 hours. We begin there. Megan Gray live at the scene at the Pass Harbor with a look at what is happening right now.
Well, Rhonda, this story is certainly taking a twist now only because the sun is starting to come up. We are still dealing with the fog, but this has been an active search for about 4 hours now. The call first came in after 2:20 this morning. We are just on the other side of the Pass Christian Yacht Club near the Pass Christian Harbor. Pass Christian Police Chief Tim Hendricks is with me this morning. We've been out here with you since about 4 this morning doing these live reports, and you haven't found anything as of yet, but tell us what the boats are doing in the water right now.
Well, again, they're searching in grid patterns. They're using some different types of sonar to identify anything that's in the water.
I saw a dive team roll up. Is that something that you plan to put them in the water soon, or is they're just here on standby?
Well, right now, yeah, they are standing by. It is DMR's dive team. So again, I'm not going to kind of speak for what they're doing, but it's indicative of a normal search.
Okay. And as far as witnesses, you've talked with the 2 people that saw the gentleman fall in, but we still have no luck identifying who this person was.
No, as of right now, we don't know who it was.
And the circumstances leading into the accident, unclear, or what do you know about what happened?
Well, again, from the witness's account, they just know that he fell backwards off the seawall.
And we have, is it still 4 boats actively searching?
There are, yes.
Okay. And thank you so much. I know now that daylight is coming, that will help.
Absolutely. The fog's lifting just a little bit. Daylight's going to help immensely for us, for the visibility.
All right, Chief Tim Hendricks, thank you so much for your time. So the search is ongoing, but we will continue to keep you updated online and on air, so look for those updates. But for now, reporting live from Pass Christian, I'm Megan Gray for WLOX. Good morning, Mississippi.
Now we're going to go straight to Jonathan Brannon. He's live in Jackson County with the latest developments on an overnight deputy-involved shooting. Jonathan?
Yeah, that's right. It all happened right here on Sugar Gate Drive in Van Cleve here in Jackson County. Deputies were filling this area behind me late last night into early this morning. And according to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department, this all started just before midnight. A call came in, a 911 call, a woman saying that her boyfriend had sent her suicidal text messages. And when deputies arrived on the scene, someone stepped out of a home holding a gun and seemed agitated. The scene escalated quickly, and deputies were forced to draw their weapons, according to Jackson County Sheriff Mike Ezel. Now, other than that, there's not much more detail that we know. We do know that this scene did involve a shooting. Now, according to several people who were out here last night, they told WLOX that someone was taken to the hospital. Someone was taken to the Ocean Springs Hospital. Now, as we get official word into us, of course, we will let you know as soon as we get it. But right now, MBI has taken over this investigation, and we'll continue to ask questions, try to find out the very latest on this situation that happened overnight. Again, started right before midnight here on Sugar Gate Drive in Van Cleve, a deputy-involved shooting, and we will keep you updated. I'm Jonathan Brannon, live in Van Cleve for WLOX News Now.
And developing now in Newton County, a hayride accident turns deadly. Officials say 2 children and an adult were killed when their vehicle rear-ended another. It was pulling a trailer full of people for Halloween festivities. New video from the scene showing the medical helicopters on the scene taking people away. Witnesses say several people were airlifted to the hospital.
It's a small community. I mean, this is a bad thing to happen anywhere, but when it's local, it really hits home. And these are good people, and our hearts go out to them.
Again, 3 people killed, including a child. Right now, we do not know the age or how many others were involved in this. We will keep you updated throughout the day. Again, a deadly hayride accident in Newton County. A fire at a pipeline explosion in Alabama is out, but now police say 1 person has died. Crews out overnight investigating the scene in Shelby County. This happened yesterday afternoon, the explosion. It sparked 2 wildfires that burned nearly 3 dozen acres. 9 crew members were working at the site at the time of the blast. They have not identified the 1 worker killed. Officials also say the site is not a danger to nearby residents. And happening today, fishermen hit the waters as oyster season opens up. Doug Walker is at the Ocean Springs Harbor with details on this historic season.
Well, it's been 50 years since these reefs have opened, and they are opening this morning at legal sunrise, which is just about 17 minutes from now. I'm standing on the pier at the Ocean Springs Harbor. Behind me, you see the boats heading out, and you can see some of the boats on the water already. They're not tonging yet, but they will be soon. That is the Shearwater Reef. The other reef, the major reef that's going to be open, is called the Biloxi Bay Reef, and that is over there near Point Cadet, where the Golden Nugget Casino is at the base of the Biloxi Bridge. So those are the two main reefs. There are other areas that are going to be open as well. But fishermen that I've talked to this morning, a lot of them from Bayou La Batterie, Alabama, say they're optimistic. Joining me now, Jamie Miller, the director of the Department of Marine Resources. So this extends the season after the past reefs to the west have closed. Good news for these guys.
It's very good news. We've been waiting a long time to be able to open this area to oyster harvesting. This is the first time, as you said, in over 50 years that it's been open for legal harvest. So we're excited and anxious to see what they're going to take out of the water today.
Now, obviously, you've been doing some testing and some test sampling as well of the reefs. What does it look like out there?
We think we've got several thousand sacks of oysters out there. We're going to limit the amount that we're going to allow them to harvest this year. We want to make sure we have enough for next year and future years to come, but we're anxious to see how successful they're going to be.
All right, Jamie Miller with the DMR, thanks for joining us. Now, again, the reason these are opening, the water quality has improved dramatically over the last several years. That's why these reefs are being opened for the first time in 15 years. Tonging only. The waters are so shallow that dredging is not allowed, and there is a 15-sack limit. Anywhere between 2 weeks and 2 to 3 months, this season could be open. Of course, we'll follow the story on air and online later on today. Reporting live in Ocean Springs, Doug Walker for Good Morning Mississippi.
Thank you, Doug. Sunrise occurring this morning at 10 minutes after